All right. This is the first public live. Um, I'm realizing that you were not getting notifications that I went live because these videos have always been unlisted. So I guess now we're naked and vulnerable to anybody in the world who wants to tune into this. Um, Chances are, if you're a fan of trading, you'll watch more than 35 seconds of this. Otherwise, you'll just go and flip on to the next video. We had some news yesterday, some huge news. When I do the last stream? I believe it was 2 nights ago. And 2 nights ago, at that moment, I was like, hey, at 10 p.m., there's probably going to be some sort of announcement. It's going to be good. It's going to turn this ugly looking chart up. And that's really what it did. Today is Wednesday, so last night we had some really big official news that turned these charts super high. Oh yeah, we streamed yesterday on this. Uh, Hoping to be able to catch a move over the next hour or so. Looks like a Bitcoin long was liquidated here. Prices are kind of coming down. That could be also another liquidity trap into the news that brings us up. But until that time, we're still on Arcanine mode. Is red. And this stream is sponsored by Black Cherry. Oh, actually, regular cherry. Bubbly. It's going to get me through all of this monologue that I'm going to be doing. Um, I really should be hold on. Let's go ahead and start the AI transcript. I need to look through the AI transcript. I need to look through the old Discord notes, and I need to be logging in actually during market hours. This is going to be that would be super helpful. There's a lot of opportunities. I bought some puts in the morning. When I woke up, the market was open. It had just opened. I bought some puts, took a nap, woke back up again. Puts were in the red, and throughout the day, the market actually did come down. It was in the green. Work, work, work. When I saw it, moved those zero DTEs and I rolled them. Then the market came down again. It came up and kind of came down again. It's just crazy. You saw crazy fluctuations. Obviously, not putting big money into this. Is just kind of playing around and seeing how the market is moving. As a day trader, you would have plenty of opportunities here. But that's not what we're here for. What we are doing for these streams is to be completely informed and make the right choice. And sometimes the right choice is going to be doing zero DTE options, which some of these people, one or two people that I have on my short list, meaning I value their opinion on the markets, were doing that. Like the short bear, for example, he's really on point. X.com, the short bear. I like him. He has. Oh, let me share the screen. The short bear. He showed his face once or twice. He reads a lot of books, apparently, mostly on trading, and he has great commentary. He's also accrued a large following since I started following him. He was buying zero DTEs and benefited greatly during this. He had a good meta analysis about what was going to happen throughout. Like it was last Friday into the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, pumpery. Um, and he kind of like outlined everything over here. So this would be the guy, one of the guys that I added on Confluence Influencers, Short Bear. Oh, he's not here actually, but I will definitely get him on here. We have Captain Cole already. We're gonna start adding these influencers on here so we know who we're gonna prioritize to help our analysis on the market, give our bias some more confluence, and also paying attention to both sides, being optimistic about both sides, and seeing which optimism is going to win out versus being pessimistic about one side, being wrong, and then getting blown out. That can totally happen, especially if we were to go heavy on a zero DTE, which we wouldn't. Uh, it would have to be divine information. Yes. So the goal here will probably be to stream into 10:30 to see if there's going to be news dropping around 10 p.m. And if that doesn't happen, I'll hop off and then do the review. Start reviewing these things, filling in these blanks over here. We'll see. I really do want to do that. That's my intention. Usually towards the end of the stream, though, I kind of want to just clock out and do something else. Something that I was kind of looking at is potential scenario where there's like planned obsolescence. iPhone kind of was doing that heavily at some point. Then they got hit with huge fines, so it's less like that. People do still want to get their new phones after several years, though. Because of battery life things, slowness, memory issues, things like that. Just like general overall well-being of the phone. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe this would be a key to keeping these companies at elevated levels because computers, it used to be that you can use computers that are 15, 20 years old. You go to any bank, they used to have super old computers, and even when they replace their old computers, there's a new computer, like their new computer is kind of old too. So I was thinking, what would that, what do these scenarios look like? And this is actually happening now. There's certain programs that you can't use unless you upgrade to Windows 11, which is what I'm going to need to do here. So that's interesting. Kind of looking at the bullish side of it and potentially the bearish side of it, like what companies might not do well given these forced hardware upgrades. But anyways, those are just kind of thoughts. This guy is going to be part of our confluence. Yeah, let's kind of jump into it. What are we going to do here? It is Wednesday, but we don't have to follow this strictly to the T. We could just go in and see what might be on our list. So we went through alerts. There's actually not a whole lot of alerts to go through. So we'll bang that within the next 10 minutes. And then Market Pulse seems fun. Actually, let's go into watch list. We'll stick in the trading view realm. And then let's set some time for let's do our checklist. Where's the checklist? This one right here. Okay. And we'll kind of go through the checklist, see what DP's on, and then Iman, you put some of these new MindTrader stuff, so we'll go and check that out as well. And then we'll see what we got, how much we got left in the tank here at 10:30. Let's see. Tons of Zcash. Zcash was doing quite nice. I'm not gonna lie, quite nice. It marked the top though. I wasn't really falling for this pump. When Zcash pumps hard, which it did, it was up like 30% over 2 days. I kind of want to shrink away from the market because it's kind of been a pretty solid indicator for that. So I placed, and it was like in this area on the iPad. Here, let's open up the iPad layout. I had a line exactly where Zcash was hitting. It popped into it twice, and I'm like, yeah, I'll short some. Why not? This line over here. This is exactly what happened to Ethereum, and I shorted it for maybe tens of dollars. So the profit on that was like less than $1,000. But that one literally ended up being, I mean, this looks so messy. But how good was this drawing? I remember drawing this way back, and then it turned out to almost happen exactly. I think this was where it was. No, no, it was like even way before that. We're talking about before this crash. Talking about like 2 months ago, before we started even streaming. Um, but yeah, there was a line here, and it kind of hit it over here. I'm like, yo, I might as well, like, this is a good risk reward. If we're gonna go short this, right? The risk reward is pretty solid. Short position here. And like, why are we shorting here randomly? It's not actually random. You kind of want to see what this pivot it looks like, and then see right here, right? It's cutting through here, and it didn't hit it. It actually never reached it. That's pretty bearish. But once it comes up here and it fails to touch this, I guess you can start shorting it right there. Right there. This was also before we purchased all the indicators and all that. So this was a normal chart. This is what the chart looked like before. Let's see. Visibility, hide all. This is what it looked like before. Now, we were working on a naked chart. I mean, some might argue that this is better, less is more. But you know what? More is okay too. So we have these pivots now, and it would have been pretty easy. Like, these pivots would have been here already. And I don't know if this red one would, because this started at this point, but these green ones would have. I won't explain the technicalities behind them, but it basically takes certain averages about the highs and lows, and then it places the pivots. This would be a nice pivot. It's like, okay, cool. I want to short up here, right? I want to short between these pivots. A lot of times I'm seeing it's either touching the pivot on the dollar or missing it just slightly. And over here, we missed it big. This is a big margin of miss versus like slightly. But yeah, if you're looking to short, you can kind of do here. But oh, it's like, oh no, the price moved away from me. Let's kind of shorter here. Then you probably want to take some profits here on the bounce. And then this is the risk limit, 2%. Let's go for 2% here. This is a 3-to-1 risk reward. It would have played out for you. But yeah, given my mindset at that time, even if I won, I actually won. I won on this bounce here. It's like, oh, great. Won on this bounce, won slightly on this one, kind of chickened out. Same thing with Bitcoin when it first came back up to, what was that, 97. I shorted that along with DP, and then I took profit at like 93, which is a couple grand. But if you kind of held it until like even now, you're talking about, holy moly, that's a lot. And you could just really go to sleep and chill. So that's something that we need to work on here as well. What I was trying to say is, you can win here and you can win here, but then, or you can even win this big. Then you start to think, and maybe it's ego. Maybe it's like, oh yeah, I'm good. I can find the next trade, or this is easy, or I know I'm right. You're kind of seeing an optimistic side, but you're not. You're also being pessimistic about being wrong. So therefore, like you think that you can't be wrong. Then you try to go, oh yeah, maybe now this is another low. It bounced up, so you could buy this, and you go double as heavy or whatever reason because of your confidence, and you think, all right, I'm going to do a risk reward. I'm a smart trader, so I'm going to do a risk reward. I think it's going to go up. Then you go, I'll just do 2% again like last time, and I'll target up here. Why not? let's get these damn shorter liquidity here. Let's go liquidate these shorts. So we're gonna get ourselves a 5-1 this time. It's definitely gonna work. Then like it goes down. You don't set a stop loss for whatever reason, and then now you're down double, and then you're sitting here and you're waiting for it to go back up, but then it keeps going down, and then all of a sudden you've lost like 10 times more than you made up here, right? That's bad. You want to avoid that. So especially when something like this happens. This rarely happens, mind you. Like I put 35%, but I didn't even capture the whole move. This 42%, and that's not even the highest. Like this was a crazy move. A crazy move for people who want to short, like our friend Dr. Profit that we're gonna visit soon. But yeah, look at this guy. But blam, 48%. It's kind of crazy. Being like riding that whole thing is actually awful. This looks like the psychology, the retail psychology chart. Here, let's go look for it. Retail psychology chart, stock market. Cycles is what it's called. Gotta start my computer after this. It's been taking its time with stuff. It almost looks like this. You see a lot of stocks end up doing this. And you know, if you're like Bitcoin, for example, from 2018, that first cycle into the second one, it recovered. Oh my god, my computer's breaking. I want to put it here on Paint. There it is. It's like this is a typical cycle, and a lot of why you drawing arrows on my picture? A lot of times, if you look at a lot of stocks, they kind of resemble this. It's like, oh my gosh, GameStop going to the moon. Oh wait, no, keep holding diamond hands, keep buying more, dude. We're fine. The bankers suck. And then it just, I mean, GameStop is still somewhere in this area, if I must say. It's at like 20s versus like 300 and something. But yeah, you see a lot of like penny stocks. They have one move and then that's it. That's all they got is one move in them and then done forever. Um, However, like BTC, for example, what happened during our infamous first cycle, which you were a part of, Iman, you still have Ethereum from that period, which so impressive. I'm very impressed. You definitely diamond handed that. Back when Ethereum was $30, you rode it through two giant bubbles. It went to 4,800 one time, and then most recently it went up to damn near 4,850. And now we're sitting at the 2000s, which is really nice. All right, so usually what you see here is like the second rise, right? That's kind of what this is detailing. And hopefully, oops, Facebook did this, Netflix did this, Amazon did this. Like, hopefully, what you see is from this would be continuation, right? It's like, oh my gosh, the business is not crap. It's really good, actually. And it's doing stuff. They're not just taking all our money and then lying to us. We're actually doing stuff. And you'll see something like that. It's like the adoption cycle. And it it works. This is the psychology of cycles. I'm just tightening this up here because what I'm going to do in a moment is send this over to Yoink. I'm sending this over to our TradingView chart. Okay, boom. Copy, paste. Kind of close this up a little bit. This is as closed as we can get. Yeah. If you look enough charts, you're gonna see patterns everywhere, and it's like, oh, is this where we're at? Could it be that? I mean, and the answer is maybe, right? Could this arrow be this arrow? And are we here? And am I in disbelief? Do I think that this is going to fail like all the other rallies? It's possible. It's possible that we creep up into the 3000s here. Um, we'll see. Maybe in a half hour when news drops, positive news that, hey, the strait is going to open up and we're working on this peace talk. Then we'll see that acceleration into the high twos up to here, and then kind of like psych, gotcha, and that would be this phase. That would put us in this area right here, right? And I think we are closer to this area than we are in this area. Usually, cycles like this happen across um, months, weeks, and months, right? So this is at least a daily chart. What we're looking at is the hourly chart. So here's what the daily chart looks like. These are like things I like to just poke around at because it's fun. Um, and see what correlations there are. But this is what the daily chart looks like, and this is more closely related to. Oh, let's bring that back. That looks almost like this, which realistically though, it's more like this. Uh, what we're seeing is like something like this happen with Ethereum, right? Up, euphoria, down, depression, and then up literally to the same number and then down. And we're not even down all the way below yet. We're kind of at like it would probably resemble something more like this. We're kind of here, you know? So if we're gonna draw support and resistance lines, where is this? Oh, we gotta drag this one. It's like, oh wow, this is support. It matches up with this support, you know, and that's how you draw a line. And you know, it's almost the same. It's almost the same. If you look long enough, you'll find other charts that look like this, whether it's coins or stocks. They look like this. This was way more volatile than this. Like this on the picture, easy to play, very smooth. In reality, this is how it happens, right? Jank, all the way down. Oh, you think it's going up? No, it's going down. Oh, wait, nope, I think we're fine. No, we're coming down to find the support. Boom! Yank, zigzag, and then acceleration. That would be the second move. Come down, and then down more, panic, and then consolidation, accumulation. JP Morgan launches its ETF, and then so many people are lobbying for Ethereum, whatever. It's the next big thing, and we go and repeat the cycle again. I do believe, though, I say all that to say, you're probably not going to find Ethereum in this range for another cycle. It probably breaks out along with Bitcoin breaking into new highs, $250,000 or whatever. It's most likely going to do something like that. And we'll finally hit that 10K Ethereum, hopefully before 2030, but at least by 2030. And like once you kind of shrink the size, it doesn't look all that crazy anymore, right? It's like, oh, all right, that was just a thing that happened. We're up here now. And then it's going to like look all crazy up here because like this doesn't look crazy at all, right? I think arguably this part was worse than this part. And we're talking about 2016 and all that. Let's see what it looked like back then. Bam, right? Almost like exactly the same as what happened in 2018. Oh, this this is 2018. Okay, let's. Well, this was Ethereum's first cycle, so let's actually go into when it launched. I think it launched closer to January, but all the way up. Wow, $21. All the way up, all the way down. It's like down, up, down. You see these pivots? These pivots are super strong, man. Like they're so helpful for trading. That's why I need to in real time kind of look at charts before placing bets. And that's also why Iman, if you're watching this, like those MindTrader lines are extremely important because that ties in a target, so a now target with pivots, and then if we have it on the same chart, then the pivots will show previous set points. And it was so easy to play crypto if you had, like, we were young, we were stupid, and things were happening crazy. But as a seasoned trader, they were so easy to play compared to developed markets like the stock market or whatever. Here, so boom, pivot, break through it, find support. You can buy somewhere in this area, ride this all the way. Like, let's say you kind of get it up here, right? Because you believe it's going to hold that. I mean, it keeps going, it doesn't stop. It does not stop. Like, this was the first move. What a fun time that was. It went 17x before anything really even went mainstream. Crypto really went mainstream sometime in October. Yeah, and this is 2017. Remember we were messing with it in 2016? In 2017, late 2017 is where it really hit the mainstream, when your taxi driver was pitching you Ripple. That was like this time here. And you see how short that time is from mainstream to everything is that the party's over. It's like 3 months. And nobody knew that the party was over at this time. And this is when Bitcoin hit 20K for the first time. It was the beginning of January. And you see what happened literally in the next less than 3 months. We went down 75% into these pivots. It's crazy. The pivots. And I've been following Rainbow Runner since 2021. And I've always wanted to get his instruments. Now we have the instruments. It should be extremely helpful, especially now that we're looking at it from this lens. It's nice to kind of retrace back here. I'm going on a crazy tangent, but this is fun. This actually helps me to it gives me the confidence to trust at this moment these pivots, right? What happens when it touches this pivot for the first time? It gets sold off like pretty heavily. Like, granted, in real time you don't know any of this, but this gets sold off pretty big and it comes down. This gets sold off pretty big. This is how you get caught up in like a river situation. Like last month when I got hit with river pretty hard, is you got to get these big sell candles, and then when you find the support, you have to respect the support. You can't be like, oh yeah, no, it's clearly I'm right always, right? But it went into, like, it's got to be a very reasonable area. This was a reasonable area. It found the support and it pushed into this pivot. And this, you can't really tell that this is the most reasonable area. This is the chunk that you kind of want to be selling on. Looks like there was some more gas on this one. The pivot really showed it, even though it's hard to kind of go, yeah, this small piece here is clearly going to hold the fort on this price. Well, the pivot tells you, and it did. Come down, we hit this pivot, bounced off of it, finding support on it. Okay, that's cool. Finding support on it, lost the pivot, and this was an interesting time. It sure was. And this is actually going into the COVID, but we were rebounding into COVID, and then bang, very difficult. This is a very difficult play at this moment. The liquidity was bad, and then we had like a real world disaster happen. But I will tell you, I was bearish. It was like the end of February, the last week of February. It was like the 22nd. I was bearish. I'm like, I would like to sell Tesla. I would like to sell all of my assets, right? Kind of like what I did on Monday. I sold most of it, bought a little bit back the following day. But yeah, I get in those moods sometimes. But I got in that mood kind of around here. I think it was the last day of the week. Sold everything, every single possible asset that I owned. And it was hard because you can't just do it in one button. I had like 50 things, 70 things I had to sell. It's just like market sell, market sell, market sell. And this was very satisfying. I got to consider that luck though. I kind of did see this happen. That's why I did it. But that goes to show you, like, there's certain moments where you just have to have the conviction and go for it. The pivots would not have helped us here. Like, this pivot did not exist. It just started here. You see how it starts here? So we didn't know. And this pivot actually failed to hold, but we broke above it. We would probably be at this point targeting. Oh, look, the Zcash short is working out right now. That's cool. We'd probably be targeting this pivot again, but it didn't happen. And this was terrible for everybody. Everybody thought, like, the world's going to end. Everyone had to quarantine and everything. The entire world could relate to this. But we quickly bounced back, and, that's all she wrote. Now, if we're looking at, like, I was super bearish at this time. I was bearish for like 4 straight months, even though the market was going up. But let's say we had access to these pivots, right? It doesn't help that these pinks are here. That would like get me to not play as hard. But this pivot existed. So what? We come up over here and we're kind of hitting this pivot. Fine, sell. But then you yeet through it into this pivot, and then we break out into that pivot as well. Yeah, arguably, emotionally, you might be scared because like this happened, which a lot of people were, including myself, because this happened, right? We broke through pivots. Oh, I don't believe in pivots that much anymore. And you shouldn't take it as gospel. It should just be confluence. I think this is like, if we're looking at 1 to 10, 10 being the best confluence, pivots are maybe like a 7, 8. It really depends. Like if it's a double pivot, for example, it could be a strong one. The red ones are resistance. The green ones are supports. So you don't want to break below the green ones. And if you break through the red ones, then you kind of want to turn those into support, right? So boom, here. This breaks through with extreme strength. You see the volume as well. The volume here was not so good. But we come out and we break through the pivots again. If this is support, you can kind of call this support because this area obviously wasn't real support. But we got here this area, which was real support. That kind of shows that this push up over here was just forced. And this is where the real support area was. They're very reasonable. I think an average trader should be able to catch that in real time. Like, oh, where are my support levels, right? Beyond the pivots themselves. It's going to be this area. And then you want to position yourself. I think most of the time, especially at this point of our lives, we should position ourselves in more of a, damn, that's a big drop. Maybe we're willing to stomach a 10% drop here because it's not such a big position. And then, man, like, this is good. It's almost a 5-to-1. But seeing what happened, that's gotta hurt, right? It's gotta hurt. That gets you to do some crazy stuff if you missed out on this entire move. Like being up 48% on a small position is nice, but being up like a trillion X on that small position is even better. Now, can you get yourself into a big position here? I don't know, man. I think the psychology of it is you're not so sure. We're coming out of a COVID scenario, a market crash. So small, but being willing to not take your profits, which I've round tripped a lot, man. But this is obviously what happened. Yeah. So we've talked about three types of markets, right? We talked about a bull market, a bull market, sorry, a bull trend, a bear trend, and then a crab market, which is what's coined in 2022. It didn't exist at this time, but a crab market is basically a consolidation, right? So it's just accumulation, whatever. We got here the bull, we got here the bear, and then we got here the crab. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then you really think that you're coming out of it because of these lower lows, but it doesn't happen. So crab, we crabbing again. Crab, 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 crab. Now, when we hit this lower low, lower low, lower low again, what are you gonna think? Right? You might think, damn, we're crabbing. So I should take my profit because every single time I bought here, I actually lost money because I never took the profits. Like especially this one probably hit you hard if you kind of rode this up and then it came all the way back down and you lost money. So this scenario here, the mindset's kind of weak. Um, but sometimes you just gotta go. You know what? Screw it. I'll give all the money back if it comes back down. Um, and then this proved to kind of turn into a trend, a bull trend, and the risk reward ended up being mightily good. And some people might still be holding from down here, their original Ethereum. And now you're looking at what is that, 100? What is that, 11x? Or is that 100 and is simply that's simply an 11x there. So, anyways, there's a lot of trades in between also, but this looks a lot easier than we're gonna fast forward this, right? This is more difficult, especially when you talk Ethereum. Ethereum's been playing a lot of games since 2021. It even hit a low of 1400. Oh, this was everything. Everything kind of crashed here during the tariffs. But look at the buying opportunity. All right. Anyways, what are we at here? Right. We talked a lot about. I'm not going to delete those. Crap. We talked a lot about. Am I on the iPad? Oh man, I drew all over the iPad one. We were on the daily, and it was like, all right, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? Up. Is it going to happen? No. Failed. And then now where we are is higher low, potentially make this higher low, and then maybe we get out of this thing, right? If history is any indicator, then we might be repeating the same thing as back in 2020. Not impossible, right? And it would actually be quite fruitful because we'd be able to capitalize on that. Now, we'd have to risk a lot to make a lot, which I'm not such a huge fan of. But when I think about the confluence factors, let's look at the confluence factors. Nice. Thanks for making this tab, Iman. And I guess you're watching this stream live right now, too. So, where's this? Eh? Oh, is it this one? Yeah. All right, let's move all of this here then, no? I don't want to mess with your stuff. Okay, great. Let's do this. 4, 8, 26. Huh, I guess it's the ninth for you now. So, look, countries are running out of gas, energy, oil, fast. We're talking 1 week, 2 week, 3 week. We're going to see a lot of defaults. So this war cannot drag on, right? Next, we have um, Iran might not be in our control. That's bad. I mean, most likely is not. They they are pretty radical and they are actually completely against what we stand for. So diplomacy is important. It's like trying to make a deal with your enemy, right? That's literally what it is. We're trying to make a deal with our enemy, and so they want something that we're not willing to give, and we want something that they're not willing to give, and is uh, that's not working in our favor. However, um, we might we might concede. I don't like that word because there's no way that it's gonna look like we conceded, but maybe I'll just call it that anyways. We might concede some of our points for peace. All right. So these are conflicting points. I think this is the strongest point here. And what's the alternative, right? The alternative would be like we can't agree, the bombings continue, and then all out war, and who knows when it ends. All economy, like people are getting affected in like boats are stuck. People on those boats are stuck. There's a lot of concern with the logistics between everything that's in the ocean at this moment. There's like so much concern, right? So something needs to happen. And confluence factor, we already started talks about potential peace, which is why the market moved so positively. So any pullbacks, I feel like will push what are good to buy so that it can push us to the next point. Here's a bad confluence factor is we're still at highs for stock market. That's not good. We're like maybe we're due for a crash. And that's not good. However, crypto, that's not even worth the confluence. But you know, um big whales might already be done um, accumulating for crypto, and that's a good thing, right? It's, I mean, this is all kind of game theory thought process, but the result is going to be either way. It's going to be a really big move, right? In either direction, and we've already seen a test of the last big move of the last news, and it was this. This is quite good. So what happened the last like this keeps happening. And I mean going into the year, even before 2025 ended, I knew that this was going to be a crab market. So it's like it's just hard to sell at highs. I did that most recently up here, which is great, which like right here was a fantastic push. Sold everything at the top. Kind of got chopped up over here. Got caught up in River, which is such an outlier, something that shouldn't have happened. But yeah, we played that last push up well. And I think we missed the entire move up here because we're actually max bearish over here actually. But we didn't panic buy. We didn't panic try to short on the way up. We just kind of watched it and then took a small short recently. And, Ethereum's down 3%. It's not bad. I actually closed the silver longs today, which is good. Been holding those for a couple weeks now. And the move is going to be a big one. This is not a big one. Like, the move is going to be gigantic, right? So the question is, will we be able to capitalize on the gigantic move? And if it's truly gigantic, what's going to happen is maybe in the next 15 minutes is boom, boom, right? Now, if that happens, we don't have to be positioned right now, because if we go, yeah, I think this is going to happen, so let's just put $2 million on here so we can capitalize on the entire move and make 40% on our Ethereum, and 40% of $2 million is going to be $800K. I'm going to rich forever. It might not happen that way. So if you position fully here, sure, you can set a stop loss down here, but you're setting a stop loss on 2 mil is it's going to be painful. Like, this here can equally happen, right? This actually seems more likely in my mind, even though, like, I want to be bullish, right? Oh, wow. I don't think we're going to, both America and Iran are not going to allow all these other countries to starve of oil just because of this war that we're involved in right now. Like, I personally, I feel that way, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen like that. I also believe that we're probably going to go up versus down, in the sense where all of the president's buddies and whatever he's invested in wants things to go up because, like, they're buying, right? And if it goes up, they win. So that's also a good key confluence point. The whales accumulating. But we've also seen his camp short, like, actually 15 minutes before an announcement, short big on the market and make like $100 million or something. So you never actually really know. But if you think about the control that we have here, that our president has, it's not that, like, it's either like, how do you make the thing crash? How do you make the market crash? You crash equals bombing, killing, right? And that's all probably only going to be for the moment too. It's like crazy because war is good apparently. That's or like, nasty words from opposition. That would be a bad signal. That would be an unknown, and markets hate unknowns, so therefore crash. Pump would be well, like what we saw the other day, yesterday. It's deal being made. Peace is forming. Confirmation of anything positive, right? That would cause a pump. And so we already saw some bombing, like Israel. Oh, that's also a confluence factor, right? Israel bombed even though peace talks. That's actually kind of positive in my sense, because the market didn't crash that hard, even though, like, that happened. That's got to show for something. That's a pretty strong confluence factor. they're probably going to say a statement like, "Oh yeah, and they didn't get the message, so things were already in place. Sorry." And then, "Oh wow, okay, that they didn't mean it. Okay, great. So we go up." So the reason why I draw these two out here is because the crash actually seems harder, right? Like we'd have to physically, or Israel is going to physically going to need to start doing things, or like Iran is going to need to start doing things not in the favor of a peace in order for that to happen. Whereas it's easy. Like what can we do? What if it's like we're positioning? Let's say I'm the president, right? And I'm positioning all of my people to make money on the next words out of my mouth. It's probably not going to be the bombing, right? It's probably going to be like, all right, peace talks in 3 minutes. So get ready. Pump, 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 right? Versus like, okay, 3 minutes, launching nuclear strikes, launching missiles, right? Dump, 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 right? It's a lot easier for that. So I actually am leaning bullish. And that's not good because I don't know what's gonna happen, right? It happened to me before. I'll just kind of take you through memory lane for me, um, with me for a second, and then we'll get straight into the alerts and then all of that. We're already pushing into 10. Um, Here, BTC, the biggest blunder that I've ever made, actually, from a yeah, it might even be from like a losing, like the number lost. Where were we? This is in 2022. The end. I think it was the end of 2020. Let's see. I'll see it on the thing. Wham! That was one, and then oh, I think it was here. We go. It was this one. It was this part. It was 2021 November. Where are we in November? Du-du-du-du-du. Oh wow, what a move! 2021 was crazy. Yeah, we had that double top. There we go. Wow, it was it was literally the top. So like right here, it started forming what I believed was um a bullish structure, right? This area here marked a low. This is a higher low. This, I believe, was a higher low, and then we had support over here. Turns out there was massive manipulation, and it manipulated my brain too. This is one of the few times I saw a head and shoulder pattern also play out too. Like kind of crazy. But yes, the bets were placed ahead of time, and it wasn't the right thing. And it's crazy because this was Thanksgiving, right? So this 9% drop resulted in, like, I guess the biggest loss that I've ever taken, because I pre-positioned and I thought like, hey, things are going to keep being great and we're going straight to $1 million. So you don't want to pre-position this. And like, even with my mindset at the time was terrible, because I probably would have played this and then I would have won a little bit, but boom, everything just, it's all about making and keeping, not making and reinvesting and retrying things and losing in the process. So we are not trying to position in this area either. Granted, we are quite low compared to the previous time. Let's actually try to compare those two. Let's try to compare those two. So this is the area where we're at now. And we're going back to 2021. All right. Whoa. Almost. You see the resemblance here? It's kind of crazy. That was manipulation. Was this manipulation? How can it not be? Um, let's see. Whoa. All right. Whoa. We are literally, oh my goodness. W- How so distinctly similar? Yeah. I mean, however, from top to bottom here, right? We're positioned way lower. We're kind of at this area already. Like 60% down was that. We're 70% down. It did go 75% down. So if we were to go 75% down, we'd have a little ways to go. That would bring us down to like 50s, 40s to 50s is exactly what Dr. Prophet's been talking about. No wonder he was just following the user manual. And like, I knew it too. Like when we got up to 100K for the first time, I kind of lost a lot there on the pump up, actually. Like I got too excited, like to short it, but it comes up, and then that second one up was a lot better. It's just, by that time, your first shot is always going to be your best shot, right? You don't have all it's like round one, you're the freshest versus round five, you're kind of you're worn down. So you want your first shot to be as close to where it should be as possible. And that sometimes might mean, you know, let's say you see the chart for the first time here, and typically you would just take that shot, right? Well, then you'd be correct here. However, if your first shot was here and it keeps going up and you're trying and it just comes up again and you get stopped out, well, then you've already tried 3, 4, 5 times at this point. And then by the time you're right, you're worn out. Your ability to kind of uh, take big bets is diminished. So it might even be better to go, all right, I'm saving my first shot. So this looks like it was a typical place where I would sell, but I will not do that. Oh my gosh, it's actually coming down. I'm not going to do it. Okay, it's came back up. Thankfully, I didn't sell, but this is a good place to short. Maybe I'll start a small position. I'm not gonna go big. It wouldn't even be considered shot. It's just like a warning shot, right? And let's say you are on the right path. Then it comes down below this area. Now you kind of know that this is probably where you want to take your full shot. You take your full shot, and then you get your average cost probably here, right? Because you started one up there, and it'll never touch it again for years, right? It will not touch it for 3 years. That's crazy. Um, but yes, I think that's what Dr. Prophet is doing. That's why sometimes he gets annoyed of people just asking him questions about day-to-day things and week-to-week things, because it's like, dude, we sold here. Like he's literally Dr. Prophet shorted right here. Like we could mark it on the thing. He shorted here and then he shorted here, right? Same thing. He's holding on to those. It came all the way down. It pumped up. It pumped up. Came down again. Consolidated, right? Can we move over? I'd like to move over. It consolidated and then it came down. Where can we okay, so he shorted here, came down, consolidated, came down again, consolidated, came down a third time. Boom. Then we got that reverse up. It may not take the same length of time in order to get back to, it won't take 3 years, but we will probably get what we want, which is like the 40 50s, and then bang, something like that. Right? So this, but except in a shorter period. And then, so if it's like bang, then we'll just right here around 50s, just bang. Yeah, faster. That would complete another Head and Shoulders, which, as I mentioned, charts have personalities, and the Bitcoin whales, this is what they do. This is what they do. And there we go. And it marks out where we kind of had our drawings here in the past too. It's just almost exactly alike. So even though I think it's bullish or whatever, this time it might be different, right? If it's real peace talks, then we should be ready to jump in, but we should not be jumping in right now just because we feel bullish. We know that it's bearish overall because of the technicals, and we kind of want to get it down here. Maybe in the month of April we'll see everything happen. Your point actually on the moon cycles, it is a full moon cycle, and we are up. So we started the full moon cycle here on the second, and we came up pretty high. So this is good. This is actually a positive development. When would that full moon cycle end? Probably on the 16th here. And so maybe we get some move into the 16 and then down into May. That I could see that happening. I'm very ready for that scenario to happen. But just like what in the past, we don't need to position at the exact bottom over here, right? We could position here and make this. We can short it here and then short it again here. And then, we can make this. There's still a lot of options for us. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we kind of drew a green line here. That actually did not play out to perfection. It's not really playing out at all. So we'll go with this blue line. Blue line. Okay. Great. Perfect. Save this. Let's jump on in. Okay, it's 10:09. Any news do we have? Any news? Well, the charts would tell us if news happened, and the charts are telling us that we're coming up somehow for whatever reason. Okay, what's happening? What might be happening? X.com. Let's go to our peak. Donald Trump took the U.S. to war with Iran. No, nothing. Israel is coordinating with the U.S. throughout the day to ensure will not accept Iran's demand to include. Mhm. Nothing here. Short list. Nothing here. Oh, we have some oil. Dr. Prophet said that he was buying some. I bought a little oil. Nothing over the last hour. Let's see what's going on with our new Teefs. This is fine. I could do this. This is better than X Pro. Whatever. This is what I use this for, anyways. Mm. Alex Becker. I believe Iran is charging a toll. Yeah, they're taking money in crypto for that. That's pretty bullish. Yeah. Going on 47 minutes ago. He might get liquidated. Approaches the April launched. Da, 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 da. Oh wow, they mine Bitcoin too. Hmm. No wonder why it pumped. There was a reason for it. Okay, okay. Yeah, so nothing that I can see affecting the charts now. So the fact that yeah, back down. Fine. Just regular chart movement stuff. We don't know what's going to happen in the short term. So on to the alerts we go. Yes, 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 yes. Oh yeah, whatever. So iPad 1. All right, we got here Zcash, which is below the alert now. This looks potentially bullish. You just kind of see it happen all the time, where it pumps and then it comes down. Oh wow, we have a mind trader alert guy here. That's what it would look like. I mean, I don't hate this. I actually don't hate this. Man, I guess buying up here is not a problem. If our target's going to be 420 anyways and then 520, I don't mind clearing this hurdle first. We're gonna have to clear this hurdle. If it comes back up again, I'm pretty sure I would like to buy this. But let's get out of this one, get rid of these alerts. Wow, it's a lot of alerts. Get out of this alert too. Just gonna put this back here. All right, what we got? Not a lot. Not a lot of alerts. This is good. This is good. We just want to get the key important ones. Triangle about to resolve. Oh, we hit the vertical line. Wow, we hit the vertical line on ore, and we're still only at 35 bucks. What a shame. But we're still mining it. We're still staking ore. Oh, it just kind of came down. Sucks. We passed the vertical line here. April 7th we did. So what's going on with April 8th? That was the triangle closing. I mean, let's see. Let's actually see what's happening here. Yeah, this used an alert. I was gonna take a look at this at that time, but we're gonna delete this one. We don't need that. What I was hoping to see happen here was like this was holding for a little while. I have some progress here, maybe, right? Something like that. But now that we're completely out of the triangle, this does not look good. This does not look good. What's our boy Hard Hat Chad talking about? Hard Hat Chad. He's retweeting moon pictures. He is talking a lot. There was a period where he wasn't talking and the price was going up still. He's complaining about Solana. I don't want to sell ore at the bottom again. It's Gamify. April 2nd. Oh, we're 2 years old. April 2nd, huh? It doesn't even look like he's doing anything for ore. I don't like that. Solana Mobile. Oh, this is cool. I got a Solana. say Solana or okay. Three. One of my favorite protocols, Bitcoin and ore mining. How we do that? It might be worth doing. Let's go and take a look at how that works in the slight little bit. Discord. Discord. Oh, let's get that over here. Yeah, let's check. Uh-huh. 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 Putting it in the tools. Okay. That's cool because we got ourselves a Solana mobile thing over here, right here. And we could use it to mine ore, which I'll probably port all the ore over into this phone and then mine it with ore. Do you use ore to mine ore? Because that we'd have a lot of ore to mine, or with would be an ore mine ore. Anyways, he doesn't say anything, so we're moving. We're moving on. Damn, this sucks. I don't like this chart. We're pretty heavily invested in this one. I mean, I don't know. If we do come down, we're 20 is probably the level in which you want to buy again. Ugh, or it's dead forever. Yeah, you really wanted to hold this line here. I was pretty confident that if we held that line, we're good, but we never did. We floated on. What's actually nice about this is when there are pumps, or is one of those that is getting the attention. It's not like, granted, it's selling off pretty quick, but there's people devoting there are market makers devoting capital to ore. This bear dev worked out pretty well. Wow. We got a bull div here. How about this bull div? No, not really. It's a coincidence, maybe. However, it did work when the RSI was in the top. What happened when we hit peak RSI lows? Pop. A coin like this is nice to watch because this coincided with um, lows on Bitcoin too. So, with that being said, if you're watching, or you might get a sense for what's going to happen to other coins in the market too. Man, the RSI is pushing even when the price was. I mean, it did go up 32%. But yeah, anyways, that sucks. We're staking ore. Okay. Buy HIMS below 20. It did hit below 20 again today. I did not buy HIMS today. I like the alert here. It's fine. If it kind of gets into this area, I'm pretty interested in the gap fill, the gap and go. That's nice. I can jive with that. This movement would work for me. Whoa. Damn, that would be a 3x. This would work for me because like HIMS is a subscription model. I use it personally, and they have a growing base. They do spend a lot on advertising. I think they had a Super Bowl commercial too, but I see them a lot. Maybe because I'm their target demographic or whatever, but I have friends that use them too. People care about their appearance a lot, their hair. So beyond that, there was like the GLP ones that they were offering. So that's like a whole nother market for them. Oh, this is a groundbreaking partnership that they did. Nordisk. Nordisk. Well, I mean, if you look at the stock charts, like what the fuck, this company sucks. But they're huge. They're a huge company. They've been around for how long? Predating my birth, predating all of our births. So what happened here? Is a meme coin? No, this happened in 2024. So yeah, their stock price, their company seems to not be doing swell over the last couple of years. But the groundbreaking, they were like they offer GLP-1s specifically, and they had a lawsuit against Hims, and they closed their lawsuit and then partnered with Hims. So that's like, what the hell? It's like it's like creating the Justice League. It's like adding Doctor Doom to the Avengers, you know? And so maybe, maybe. I did have some plays that back when it was $15, like here maybe, and here before this huge run. I had a whole bunch. I sold maybe here. Then I was able to play it up and down. I'm up overall on Hims, just like randomly, whatever, trading on a random day because I was positioned, and I'm a customer. I think that's the biggest thing. Is like I follow the company, and this looks like a buyable area now. You know, we do a little gap fill. Boom. I'll do that. I would. So I'll keep this alert here. Why not? Next. Oh, we are actually on the wrong charts. That was the crypto side. This is the messy stock side. Let's go with which type of chart. These are 4 charts that happen simultaneously. So when I click this, all 4 charts are going to reflect the same thing, the same ticker. And then when I click a time frame, it's going to change all of them, but they all have different indicators. So the only reason why this one looks nice and clean is because I zoomed in. And sometimes, like, I don't want all the indicators on one chart. They're all important depending on when you need them. So I'll just kind of like zoom into when I need it. Something like the S&P 500, for example, I'm not going to need the rainbows. Like, who gives a crap about the rainbows for this? I mean, although sometimes, like, if you see pinks on the S&P, like, you better buy. Not pinks, whites. Like this. It took us 6 years to get whites down here during the COVID. Like, you just basically see the color and you buy it. And then you buy it and you hold it, like, say you go into a coma or something for a year and a half, you're up double on just the index, right? When else have we ever seen? Fine, let's zoom in. You've convinced me. We're gonna zoom in. The last time we saw whites was during the financial crisis. You buy the first white, and then you're kind of shitting bricks because everyone around you is losing money, and it goes lower, so your bricks get heavier, and then you buy, and then it goes even lower after this bounce. Psychologically, you're probably like so worn down by this time because you're withstanding all of these lows, but they're white candles, you know? If you're seeing white candles in the S&P, you're probably gonna it's probably gonna be a good idea to buy. Even like 3 months later. This is what, 8 months later? Half a year later, you're already up 58% off the bottom. If you didn't get scared away by the action, you have an average cost basis of here, you're still up on your money. And then, that's all she wrote from there. It's never touched this area ever again. Oh, another set of whites. So this set of whites was the .com bubble was before that. We had .com bubble in 2000. Then we had like World Trade Center coming down was 9/11. These were whites too, huh? It's cool how like even from stuff from 25 years ago, we're able to the indicator still works for it. Because it's just basically based off the stuff on the chart. So we got a white here. You bought that, and then you're down, and you buy more. I think that's kind of the moral of the story. Earn money, buy when necessary, buy when you can, and maybe when you see whites, buy when you can't. and just hold for a long time. So we haven't seen whites yet. Again, this is on a 2-day though. Maybe on the 1 day we did. Nah, same deal. It's just COVID. Like even the tariff, huge drop on tariffs, we didn't see whites. So moral of the story here is when you see whites, you buy on the S&P 500 specifically. But I typically don't look at the colors for the S&P because it's like slow and whatever, huge liquidity, whatever the case may be. It's just uh, it doesn't look good. I just don't like. I'd rather look at a chart that looks nice if I'm doing some analysis on it. This chart here, I'm not going to explain all my charts. Just like get into this one. I like this one because it's got the deviation. So we're doing that. Not deviation, divergence. Tons of bearish divergence all throughout. This is on a daily, so each candle is 1 day, and that's pretty big. And we're talking about the S&P, so quite the bear. That's not a good thing. That means when you have a bearish divergence, it means less people. It's taking less people to buy for the price to move up, meaning there's people are excited, they're buying, but there's not like a whole lot of people buying, and the price is moving up more than it should. So therefore, it becomes overbought. Anytime it's over this level, it's overbought, and like that's just what it is. And then these divergences, it's like specific to this indicator. It's a free indicator. I just kind of put it on there because it's nice to know. When it's a divergence, it means like, dude, the price cannot keep up with the demand. Like the price is moving way faster than demand. There should be a pause, and it was just happening so much on this run up. So let's see the one time that we had the bull divergence. Pretty nice move. And then what do you call this? This is inauguration day here, right? Yeah, we got bull divergence into inauguration day, and then we start our bear divergence there. The bear divergence hits, and that's literally the top for quite a little while here until 4 months later, which in like this day and age, 4 months is freaking 2 lifetimes. But yeah, this bearish divergence actually worked out pretty good. Like you're not going to be like bear divergence, short this because I know that Trump's going to talk out his face and create some new policies. But it's like a good confluence indicator. And this is the daily chart. If we looked at like the 4-hour, it would look a little even crazier, right? You see the swings are just a lot crazier. The more you zoom out, the more distilled it is. Like it's holding this top a lot more. And then we got oversold just recently. We bounced on it, which is a good confluence indicator. Like technically we're bouncing off of such a low here. It's like 30 and 70. We're bouncing off such a low here that this is just mechanical, right? Like it's almost like all the bots are going to do the same thing anyway. All these high frequency trading, whatever, they're all going to play this pattern out. So it's not perfect for like, oh yeah, we're going to just go and hit all-time highs again. It's more like something's happening here that is supposed to happen already anyways. Doesn't have anything to do with headlines or anything. Okay, so it's basically like the people who bought whoever's buying, like hedge funds or whatever, they're going to be quick to sell, right? This is not like diamonds hands holding love fundamental people. This is just overbought, oversold, bounce. We're so high. We're still so close to the all-time highs that I don't know. Do we just like break into all-time highs again? I don't know. A scenario that I see that happening is like we make such a positive deal with Iran that like we're winning even more. Like truly, not just because like our president's saying, "Oh yeah, we're better." Like the Economist or whoever breaks this all down says like, "Yo, wow, actually Trump is so impressive. Like he did this thing that gave us more stuff." Then I can be like, all right, cool. Anyways, we hit a target 2 on the S&P, which we broke straight through it. That's super incredible. This was a target that was given to us from MindTrader maybe a week ago or less, and we broke through both targets already. Wow, right? Like super wow. Up 6% on that. 6% on the S&P is quite heavy because, like, if we overlay this with Coinbase, for example, I think Coinbase popped a little, but crypto's not doing so hot right now, so maybe not. It did have a huge bounce off the previous low, but let's just kind of mark the lows here. All right. So the same time that it took the S&P to go up 3%, why would that be 3%? No, to go up 5%, 4.5%, Coinbase went up 10%, right? So you got a lot of names that were doing that. And like, don't even get me started with like AAOI, but yeah, I definitely won't get started on that. But yeah, tons of different stocks did different varying things. Since this trade is complete, we're just going to go ahead and delete. Goodbye. Thanks for getting this on here, Iman. It really helps. It's like, okay, great. Score 1 for MindTrader, right? I've seen MindTrader hit 2 or 3 times at this point in the most recent streams. So I would add more conflict, more positivity. I would factor his targets more into our confluence when they're coming in, and that's totally what I'm going to look at next. And it's 10:30, which was kind of my time to get the hell off and then like check Twitter and update the sheet. But yeah, let's continue. I'm kind of on a roll here. Look, bear div on the 1 hour. 1 hour bear devs are not super strong, so we're just gonna ignore that. All right. Stop loss on Wolf. Short sell stop loss. This is interesting, right? This is a proxy for Bitcoin. Damn, we went up 32% in the last since the bottom here, which would have been freaking 6 days ago. Why is it? Oh, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Thursday, 4 trading days ago. And we drew a line and it hit that line and it bounced, and then it's kind of like shrinking from that line. That's very interesting. Let's kind of zoom in and see what happened there. It's happened today. Huh. This line, like you see as much as me, like the line was already here. I didn't just draw it. This whole area here is today. So we opened up quite goodly. Then one can only assume that it went up, touched this line, dramatically dropped, and then came up. And that's how the first 15 minutes of our trading day happened for this. And then it bounces off of this arbitrary box that was drawn here, and it never actually fully fills the gap, which is important to note. I think that's, if we're looking to be bullish on this, then we'd probably go in at this gap fill. I'll put an alert here. I don't think I'm going to buy Wolf though, unless, if BTC, for example, like look at what this alert says. Stop loss on Wolf. What's BTC doing? That's actually on the downside, but since Wolf is a proxy for BTC and they have like a huge Google investment, whatever, they're the best performing crypto thing not called Coinbase or Robinhood that I know of. And I think it's because of like their ties with Google. But this is basically like, gap fill, 1 too long. What's BTC doing? And like, if it hits here and BTC is freaking 78,000 or 80,000 or something like that, I mean, I highly doubt that's going to happen. Actually, it doesn't just go down. It's not going to go down when Bitcoin's going up, but that'll be a pipe dream. If, for example, BTC, when the market opens, comes down and then does that, it's kind of like breaking this. So like 73,000. Anything above 72.5. I'm going to write this down actually. Almost deleted it. Gap fill. Is BTC above 72.5K? This is good to know because I might not actually be sitting here and seeing this alert. It could hit the alert and then it'll be 10 p.m. and I'll see this. And maybe by the time I see the alert, BTC is above 73K. Then that's going to be an easy long for me. And that could be an easy, heavy long for me. Because the way I see it is we have potential to go to up to 90 here. Like, this is very plausible. So therefore, and like they're taking Bitcoin payments. Like Iran is taking exclusively Bitcoin in order to get the ships through the strait. So it's almost like, yeah, spotlight, right? Let's say that becomes the norm or whatever, the norm for the next 2 weeks. It's a norm right now. That means everyone who wants to, all the companies that need to pass, they need to purchase Bitcoin. What the? Let's add that to the thing. Iran wants payment in Bitcoin for crossing the strait. This is huge. I would rank this at a 10 probably, because like I don't want to get overhyped on this idea, but I would rank this a 10 on the Confluence because we're seeing solid price action from BTC. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. We're finding a lower high base here. Like that's good. And we're above 70K. This is the natural resistance that we're hitting. We could just break straight through it. I'm going to add an alert up here because it's never too late. Let's say, I added it here, right? I was like, hey, if it comes up here, we can still capitalize on this percent, but let's actually be more cautious with it. If we see 2 alerts in a row, then we know that it's time. And we're not even going to buy Bitcoin. You know what we're going to do? We're going to buy this freaking thing here, Wolf, and then we're going to buy altcoins, Ethereum, whatever, because that's the ones that are going to follow and do stuff. And we can actually decide to go heavy on those. I think that was the last thing I said on stream too. It was like, Wolf, buy Wolf, yo. Wolf look really bad. Sell it all. Short stuff. I did in fact sell it all. I shorted a little bit of SPY today. I kind of covered that at my first sentence here. But yeah, not like uberly bearish anymore. But yes, I think we should run that exercise before the stream ends. The one where it's like, let's assign the confluence factors. Yeah, so where's Wolf? I remember seeing that. I think it's in our journal. Wolf is a stock to play when crypto rebounds. Yeah, so that's kind of the thing. We're getting gap downs, is top trend, et cetera, whatever. Okay, so yeah, hitting arbitrary line here, hitting arbitrary box here, and looking pretty constructive actually. Wolf could be a sleeper. Like if we can break out of this range here, we have it drawn out. It's gonna double, right? And have we ever hit that? Sure have. Right? We're building this giant cup and handle, and cup and handles are one of the strongest things in, especially crypto, but like in charts. Yeah. How about breaking out? Wow, we broke out past this thing. How about breaking out and then hitting all-time highs? That's pretty good. If you leverage that, then yeah, you're looking at multiples in your money. And maybe we do. Like Think about it. It's higher. This is crazy, actually. Wolf's got something. When's earnings? May. My earnings in May. Um, yeah, I'm kind of looking for potentially a bearish outlook on April. So it's possible that in May, before earnings, we get like a juicy price. Like we get a lower price than we want to here. Cause like I mean this gap is not even that strong. It's on the hourly. I mean, look at this is pretty nice, man. We got lower low, lower highs, higher lows, and each time is like higher highs too up until this is equal, but this it's compressing, right? Where when you compress anything, it's got to shoot out somewhere. Where is it going to go? It's favoring the upside right now. Wow. Wolf is I'm going to actually put it on I'm gonna put it on my iPad so I could just like watch it every day. Let's do it now. We gotta boot one to add one. I was looking at Seeker just because I have the phone and South Korea was playing with it quite crazy. Up all the way down, up all the way down, up. Da 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 da. I probably lost several $100s just trying to play it, but it's holding pretty good. I'm just gonna not care. Let's just throw a. We're gonna go ahead and throw an alert here, and then replace it with Wolf. Woof. Yeah, look at that. Like this chart versus the Seeker chart, you can tell which one you would prefer to buy, right? Pretty, pretty open and closed case here. But yeah, so this is on the iPad. I'm going to be watching it indefinitely, basically every day. We're gonna catch this play. It's a cup and handle pattern. What might stop it? Like again, it's nice to have this RSI thing up here for the divergences, right? Divergences seem to play out pretty well on this one, just because like crazy oversold. Every time it's in this oversold level is going to come down. We tapped on it and came down, tapped, and we're like exceeding it right now. So again, back to like what I was saying about a bearish April going into May. What I'd like to see if we can get better prices on this would be like breakouts are hard. This is going to be a difficult task here. Like when it happens, you play the momentum on it, but it's not easy. Like it's already like one time failed, two time failed, three time failed, four times. Like actually tried and then failed. We're on our fifth time here. The saying is that each time that you go, it gets subsequently easier to pass. But at the same time, you never kind of know. Like if you go all in here, you die. You go all in here, you die. You go all in here, it's to be determined. But look, we're looking for a bearish April. What can potentially happen here? Let's just I don't even need to draw it out. I can copy what happened so far. What I'd like it what I'd like to see potentially is something like maybe something like this. You know what? Let's just draw it out because we're going into May, right? Maybe something like this, right? And then boom. Usually the saying goes sell in May and go away, but like ever since I was in college, I actually have it I've had it on my Google calendar since 2008. Sell in May, go away. May is not really a bearish month at all. Like how many times has selling like that's what people say, sell in May, go away, and then I don't know when the hell is it to buy back. It's like buy in August because the hogs are back. I don't know. How many times has sell in May, go away actually worked in the last 15, 20? No, 18 years. But yes, this would be really good. And like this reminds me of Quad U, which we awesome did. We did super awesomely on. Like I'm talking about this area. Oh man, this is exactly what happened with freaking this guy. Granted, we needed Trump to be like nuclear for it to happen, but it was gonna happen at some point anyways. Like it's funny how charts just speak a different, like they tell the future. Here, cup and handle. We're looking for cup and handle. Man, this is such a messy chart. But yeah, I was not looking at it before 2020. So cup and handle. Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter if I was looking at it or not. It was still a cup and handle. Here, right? Like, also the rule is the longer it takes to build a pattern that goes through, the stronger it's going to be, right? So we're talking about from the course of 2015 all the way to, I mean, the final break. Let's call it here, all the way to 2023, 8 years. We built this giant cup, right? We tried to break out of it. It kind of happened. I don't know what that is. This is the cup, and then this is the handle. Bang, right? And you draw the cup because it's like, oh, that's a cup and that's a handle. This noise here is kind of crazy, and there's a hell of a shakeout. I don't know how I ended up holding this. I just kind of like didn't care. I'm like, yeah, I think it's going to happen. I was telling people like nuclear energy. Probably. I keep hearing that nuclear energy, and then Trump was saying it. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold it. But it's funny how like literally the last person holding this thing ever, right? You have to either be in a coma or retarded or have so much conviction that you're holding it to the lowest price it's been since 1500 days before, and then it goes freaking ape shit, right? It goes 8x. It's funny how like these market makers just shake you out of this stuff. It's all just mind games, it's psychology. You remember that, I mean, the psychology chart, do we have it? I deleted it. The psychology chart, right? The market psychology. Boom, euphoria into, oh, this is just a dip, into, oh my gosh, I'm depressed, and then deep depression, and oh, this is a failed breakout like the rest of them, and boom, we're kind of moving up. Naturally, it's also because the fundamentals changed because our president shouted out nuclear energy. Oh, hey, we were talking about this on the last chat, on the last live for Daniel. Um, but yes, this is like the cup and handle pattern. Very, um, what do you call that? Very sought after. It's a very sought after type of pattern, and we're looking at it happen in real time. And this consolidation here, this coil is getting tight. Hey, if it pops up, I'll buy it higher. That's fine. But maybe it ends up coming down to the area that we would like to buy it at, sub 15. Cool. Man, I'm talking a lot. Yeah, getting rid of this. FSLY. Never heard of Fastly. Um. Oh, okay. 4-3. It failed to move above. Okay, that was an update on Fastly. Or no, it's not an update. It's brand new. Okay, this is a short position that was added by MindTrader on April 3rd. And we're kind of seeing it play out. April 3rd. Oh, this is interesting. This could be our first potential short opportunity from MindTrader. MindTrader was printing on shorts in 2022. Okay. We did fail to move up on it. I'm watching closely. The take profit targets seem pretty juicy. Fastly for Short target if allows. Yeah, yeah. I just remember I gotta get a haircut tomorrow. Haircut. Haircut. Okay. All right. So earnings is happening also in May. Mm, I don't really want to speculate on the stock market in that sense, whether it's going to go up or down. But what a move since last earnings! They destroyed earnings. They've been What is this? They beat earnings. Oh, so they actually made money instead of losing money. Wow, they surpassed earnings by 100x expectations. They what? What's going on with Fastly? So the only reason why it would be going down is because people are taking their profits on their position. What the heck does Fastly do? 6 or 7 times. Yeah, see? It's like, Why would you always say that? Why is that the saying if it only works 1 out of 3 times? You're better off buying in May and staying because you win more. You win more. I think it's a saying in like the 90s. You missed massive gains more so than you avoided massive crashes. Yeah, dude. Anyways, Fastly. Let's talk about Fastly real quick. What? Tell me everything you know about Fastly and its business model. Why it's why it's actually beating earnings. The exact reason. The exact reason why it's beating earnings and is it okay? Great. I mean, can we call this a cup and handle? If that's truly the case, this kind of looks like it. We're gonna look for the handle, right? This is a crazy target. This is a crazy target. I mean, granted, right? If we're looking to be max bullish on this, max bearish on this, then this would probably be a level where everyone wants to unload. People who work for the business, institutions, like heavy resistance levels here. Look at the friggin' RSI. Jeez. On the weekly, even on the daily. Oh, actually, it's not. Huh. This is interesting. The volume was going down. Oh, that's interesting. Price is going up while volume is going down. That's bearish div. This is bearish div that actually worked out. I'm interested. I must say, because stop loss being 15%. Oh, that's a lot. Like we can risk it. Target 1. Where's target 2? 0? There's no target 2. Just hold it forever to the bottom. It's beating earnings. Let's see what ChatGPT says. Cloud. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, yeah, it's AI related stuff. Cool. I might short that. But the biggest thing is why should we short at this moment? Maybe because everything came up today and it actually sold off. I forget what this candle is. Like this some sort of doji. Whenever it has legs, it's called a doji. But it literally could not get above it, and the body of it is pretty large. Um, I will watch this, but what was my point here that I want to make? Yeah, where's the second target here? I would probably, oh man, what do I do? What do I do here? Like I want to, okay, yeah, perfect. We have earnings on May 6th. So that's probably where I would most likely take profits. Okay, let's write this note. Earnings report on May 6th. And might beat earnings, but still drop. IV might be high. I think the implied volatility on Fastly is going to be in the 150s at this point, especially like the ones leading into earnings. So if we go into the week after earning, I like usually playing the week after the earnings versus the week of the earnings. I don't know how that's worked out for me actually. It's just a thing that I do. I feel like it doesn't really work out. It's like a thing that I do that has no effect. But the strike price of 35, where's it at right now? It's currently at 32. All right, so we'd probably go for puts in the 25 range. And if we're looking at the implied volatility, there's no they don't actually tell you. That's thanks, man. It's supposed oh there it is. It says volatility. Okay, this is new. I've never seen this before. 130. Yeah, it's pretty high. What if we were looking at next week? Where are we at here? Volatility is 130, 103. Okay, I might start taking those. We want to take the lowest line, apparently. So we take that out. It makes sense. It's closer to earnings. It's going to be higher volatility. Oh, okay. May 1st. May 1st seems like. Hold on. Where's the blue one? The blue. The blue don't exist. Oh. The blue is the primary. So how come I can't get rid of. Okay, that helps. They're all in the same range, 100. Oh crap! They're currently at extreme levels. Is that what it is? No, 100. 100's a lot. I might take a stab though, just for YOLOs. Man, we didn't get through the watch list yet. What do I want to do? I wanted to do a thing. Well, I hope that this has been kind of insightful here. Um, Going through the motions. This has been helpful for me because uh, I'm getting to understand whether or not, like, where I should go big, right? At the beginning of this, it's like we should avoid going big until something happens, right? Until it breaks in either direction, because there's going to be a big move, and I'm oscillating between bullish and bearish. Started off like, all right, we're going to keep this bear thing going. I thought maybe during this stream there's going to be some bullish news. Didn't come out. So, however, we popped up past certain resistances for certain things. Like Wolf, for example, looks like a decent. It's at a resistance point. Um, it's natural for it to pull back on the first time, so we should be looking for things to go up. So therefore, that's what I'm looking for, but I'm not going to pre-position because I went into extensively why completely failed back in November of 2021. You will kind of want to see the move happen first. And on the bearish side, yeah, I mean, the fact that I don't feel like there's enough confluence for the bearish side makes me feel like it may happen. You know what I mean? Similar to what is this? Stop loss. Okay, this move happened already. It kind of short sell below stop loss. It hit a stop loss because it hit the first target. Yeah, I'm gonna delete. Man, I actually don't know what the heck this is because why is the stop loss below the short sell? Shouldn't it be like that? Oh, what? You could do that? Oh, what? How'd you do that, Iman? That's cool. You did a pitchfork. All right, I'm impressed. I've never seen that function before. But like, why is the stop loss lower than the short sell? That doesn't make sense. It should be like up here. Anyways, maybe you have an answer to that one. But what was I trying to say? Let's go into BTC real quick. Yeah, so like in the over the weekend, things looked so bearish that I assumed that things were going to be bullish. There were signs to be bullish, but it just looked bad. It was, I think, this area Sunday. Yeah. So if we were to rewind, it was literally right here. It was after futures open, so 7 p.m. What happened? USD. I'm getting cut off here. I think my time is up. All right, so let's back here. This one. Yeah, it was right after market open. And wait, Sunday. Sunday, it would have been a little bit further then. Bing, 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 bing. Oh, yeah, it was right before market open. And I was looking at, no, I don't remember this. Like, I don't remember being bearish into that. I mean, whatever the case may be, it was definitely scary looking. And it was right at the red one. So, I mean, that's interesting. I don't know if I was streaming at 12 a.m. though. I don't know. We'll review the stream or something, but it was like, okay, there's reason to be bullish because higher lows. This kind of scared, but like overall it's a higher low. But this looked like it was just gonna, like, if I long here, ouch, right? And at that moment, I'm like, maybe it's so bearish that it's bullish. It's one of those mind fucks. So at this place, at this stage, like once this happened, it's a good time to be bullish, right? Maybe it was here. Nope, Tuesday. This was literally yesterday. So we got this move over the weekend. People were positioning even though there was no news, right? Then Tuesday happens. People were already positioned. The news comes out. We're getting sells over here and some friction on the other side. The question here is, did the people who positioned here already get rid of their position here? It looks like, I mean, people are going to, right? Some of these entities will, but the ones who kind of are playing with house money, like they know what's going to happen, they might be holding out for here. If this is to happen, then you kind of know everyone offloaded here. Everyone who knows is already offloaded. So at this moment, with this sell-off here and with all of this crises, I think it's easy to feel bearish. So it's possible that it goes up. Now, I feel like it has a more chance to go up. I don't want to buy it yet. We set our alerts. We'll buy it at higher prices. But that could be an indicator that goes down. So we don't want to pre-position. That's, I guess, in a nutshell, what it is. This actually looks good, though. Like, higher low, higher low. Just, I've seen it happen where it's like, oh, I think it's going to do this. No. Like, nope. Sorry, you're wrong. Lose all your money. Bye. So we're gonna wait for the move to happen. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So this is what I want to do. I'm gonna do this off stream. I'm gonna check some of the Twitter confluence. And dropping this. We're 2 more alerts away. I'm gonna hit those 2 alerts and call it a day. Okay. But oh yeah, I was highlighting how I was coming into this bearish with like a bearish bias, finding a lot of reasons to be bullish. So now I have a bullish bias. However, not going to pre-position. If things were to go south, I know that I want to short Wolf. Wait, am I shorting Wolf? I know that I know which ones I want to short. I want to short Fastly. And then if market allows, I'm going to end up getting Wolf down in the 13s or something, because I think there's a time frame here. And this could be our gigantic play. I want it to be our gigantic play. If things align, if I look at these charts and I look at the headlines and I look at the date over the next 2 weeks, maybe over even like the next 10 days, and things align, I'm going to hit it big, because that will be our gigantic play. I'm going to add this to the chart. And the reason why is because I think that window, like, it's always, like, if you think about the moon phases, right? It's I guess it's pretty arbitrary, but the reason why it hits sometimes is because, like, I'll probably ask Gemini, do the moon phases matter? Because it was able to give me some pretty good answer here. Do the moon phases now. And I think the reason why it works is not because it's some occult witch thing. It's because they move in 14-day cycles. And that's how, like, that's such a believable, that's just a pattern that you can follow, right? So Iran was given 2 weeks, and it was like 2 to 3 weeks. It was kind of arbitrary. But what's really important is countries are going to run out of oil in a week. They're going to start itching. Countries are going to run out of oil in 2 weeks. Billion-dollar companies are being affected by this. They're like, day-to-day is being affected. They don't know, like, even on a fear level, but even especially on a finance level. So there's a window that's closing on this, and there's a coil that's happening. There's going to be a movement. We want a gigantic play that, and we want to take profits. You know, we don't have to get the whole move. We just take profits. And if it turns out like just like it was last year with the tariffs, hey, war's over, we can keep going up again. There's a lot of more opportunity that we can take. If Bitcoin hits like 95K, like, that's clear. That's very clear that it's like the bear market is over, like the crab market. And then we could even buy in there, and still, like, from there to all-time highs would be like 30%. Versus, like, you know, taking profits and then trying to short it. Because I think that is what will happen, right? We're going to go up to like 82, 83. Then we're going to come down to like 50s if we're going to follow that fractal there. And what Dr. Profit's saying. Ooh, Dr. Profit. And then we kind of make that move up. But we don't have to actually play that short if you don't want to, right? We don't have to turn that into our gigantic play. We want to make that coil move our gigantic play, and then everything else we can play small. Especially the move down, like the one that's like super confident that Dr. Profit has been so spot on with. Then we can buy the lows, and 50K to 125 is more than 100%. Then we can like gigantic that, just like sitting out of the down move. capitalizing on this coil spring. So yeah, I wanna highlight that here where it's like on Tuesday, on Sunday, he was giving 3 weeks, which is to the end of the month. We're looking at by next Friday. I think by the 20th. April 20th? Let's do that. April 20th, 2026. This is Lorena's birthday. Wait, she's on 24th. April 8th to April 20th will be we're not doing the gigantic play anytime. We're on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh, this is good to think about. Is like where the market's going to close on Friday, right? Moved up into the week. Yeah, I can see good news happening into Friday and then it pumps, but then the weekend is just going to be strange. It's going to be weird. But it could be alt season for the weekend if we get good news Friday. So let's actually turn that into April 10th. I want to put that on the. Yeah, maybe we'll just put April 8th, 2026. If we get good news going into Friday, it could be alt season for the weekend. That's what Alex Becker just said, but he's notoriously kind of shit as a trader. He's a shiller, but and he's usually early. He was like all season, all season, all season. You know what he said? He said I'm gonna sell all my stuff, and then like that's when crypto rebounded. Then he kept yelling all season, and then when we were going down, he was like, I don't care, it's still all season, and he was wrong. But yeah, he just kind of tweeted that. But I think we get a nice pop here. We can gigantic play it in the weekend. If we have a positive Friday, we could. I mean, maybe not gigantic, but large play it on the weekend because we're gonna see things move like 30% and stuff. Just thoughts in my mind. Okay, so we have Fastly over here, and I'm going to delete this one. 666. Yeah, we're so above that at this point. That's where the alert was this area. And yeah, cool. All done. All right. Closing out shop for today. See ya. See ya. Thumbs up if you watched this.